11, at the bottom of the page. The Fidik Rebbe talks in the pasuk Veatah Tetzaveh, this week's parsha. Today is the yahrzeit of the Moshe Rabbeinu. Today is the yahrzeit of Moshe Rabbeinu. It's the birthday of Moshe Rabbeinu. It's the yahrzeit of Moshe Rabbeinu. It's the day that Haman picked. It's the reason why Haman picked the month of Adar, because Moshe Rabbeinu's yahrzeit. So he thought it's a good month because of today. So today, Moshe Rabbeinu, usually this time, in Moshe Rabbeinu's yahrzeit, in Ziyam Maledes, we usually read Veatah Tetzaveh, because it's the only parsha that doesn't mention Moshe Rabbeinu in the whole from book of Shemais. The Moshe Rabbeinu is not mentioned. Mecheni no misifrecha, that you should erase me from your book. So, but the pasuk says Veatah Tetzaveh, you, and the pasuk Veatah Tetzaveh Israel, v'yichol Hashem and Zayezach kasis lamor, the first pasuk in the parsha, that you shall tell the Jewish people, and they'll take for you Shem and Zayezach, they'll take you pure oil, kasis lamor, which will be crushed to the light, la'alis ne'tamid, which the light of everlasting light. They said the kasis lamor. Rashi says that kosis, the word kosis is for the two Beis Hamikdash, right? Chav Taf and Yud Taf, right. 420 and 410. Destruction, kosis will be crushed. The first Beis Hamikdash and second Beis Hamikdash will be destroyed. Lamor, but Chas Hashem is not going to be destroyed forever. It's going to be destroyed, so they'll build a third Beis Hamikdash, which will be a Ner Tamid, which will be an everlasting Beis Hamikdash, right? So the word, but the Rebbe, the Fidik Rebbe over here explains the word Maamar. Maamar, kosis, it should have said lahoyer. It can be crushed to light. Lahoyer, that would be the right word to use. It says Maamar, to the luminary. Maamar. So Chassidus is saying there's two concepts. There's mar and or. There's the illuminary and there's the light. Two different concepts. The illuminary and the light means the essence, and then you have the Oir Havaya. So what do we have? Kosis? Kosis lamar. You need to sometimes crush something, not for the light. For the light, you don't have to have kosis. So that would be that's the difference in a tzaddik and a Baal Tshuva. Tzaddik is a or. He deals with light. Baal Tshuva is a kosis. Baal Tshuva broke himself. He crushed himself. What did he do that for? You need a tzedek aliyah. He crushed himself so he'd go higher than the light. He would go to the mar. He would reach the source of the light, the essence of the light. Right? So that's what we're holding. So a Jew can also be crushed and broken when he's comfortable, when he's in a comfortable physical environment, but he's nevertheless crushed. Because the question is, how are you crushed? I can understand you're crushed when the Fidik Rebbe was talking to the Jews in 1927. He said this Maamar, the Jewish people in Russia were being crushed under communism. They were being crushed. But he told them, don't give up, don't worry. You're being crushed right now, but it's all for the mar. Don't give up, it's all for the light. How are you being crushed in Boca? You can't play golf today. Why? How are you being crushed? What is the crushing? Good question. What is the crushing today? Kosis, what's the crushing? So the Rebbe says, no, you can still be crushed. When he realizes your spiritual shortcomings. When a Jew realizes, it's good. But this good that shows how far, and sometimes how this keeps me away from the source of the light. So you can be crushed because basically you're lacking something. You're spiritual lacking something. Your physical greatness can sometimes reveal your spiritual shortness. And that can be a crushing too. That needs to be the crushing today. Today needs to be a crushing that there can be such a light, but there's seemingly such darkness. How is it possible in a world that we live in 2020? There's still hatred and evil. How is that possible? It's very sad. The time I go to exile, I say, imagine a country how beautiful it really would be without any security problems. You know, there would not be worry. How much 100 times beautiful it would be if it wouldn't be under the constraint of giving, 60% to their security. That they have to worry about it. Where you walk into a place that you have to be checked every you go to a restaurant. How beautiful would it be? It would be a million times. It's so beautiful now. It's so sad that they have to go through this soda, right? They have to go through such a beautiful country, such a beautiful place, and such beautiful people, but they have to go through this sad of living. Kivsa ben shivim zevim. There's one sheep between 70 wolves, and I know they want to kill you, they want to destroy you, they're out to get you. It's very sad. It's very sad. That should be the sadness. So, because what it could be. Now, what it could be. And spiritual and physical. So that's a crushing. That should be the crushing. That might be a deeper crushing than somebody else crushing you. We're crushing ourselves, as the Rabbi would say. The Eibishter gives us miracles, and we're crushing ourselves. We're giving it away ourselves.
Like on the video.
Like the Rabbi said in the video. And basically, the Eibishter gave us a gift, and we're giving it back. And we're talking ourselves in. That's the way the enemy is going to like us, by becoming weak. So we're crushing ourselves. We're making ourselves. We have no go'oin yankiv. We don't have the pride, Jewish pride.
It's our fault.
Yeah, we should have Jewish pride. Every Jew should walk today around. The guy is Thursday night. Every Jew should walk around a yarmulke on the street. Jewish pride. Show you're Jewish. We can do that, man. Why should you stop doing that? Why should a Jew today in America or in the world show their shyness or afraidness of being Jewish? You're crushing yourself. You're putting yourself down because of these things. Oh, the people hate you. No,
animals know when you're afraid, and they'll come after you more. If you stand up, the animals don't do that.
Jew needs to be proud of who he is. Let's not hide.
There are places in Europe we can't wear that.
No, they should. They should more. That's what they exactly want. They want to do that. They're winning. Then you're giving in. They're winning. Exactly what they want to do. It's exactly what they're accomplishing. And you're running. We are again running for fear. Jews are again running for fear. You want to leave, but don't walk. If you're going to leave, go to Yad Rama. Don't run for fear. We're running again for fear. And that's sad. Sad. We ran for fear in our life throughout history. We were talking about being crushed. We were chased out of every country. We shouldn't be chased out of anywhere. Because this hatred, zu gesund. And there's this kind of people. No, it shouldn't be. That's a sad situation. We should realize the sadness of the situation. So that's it. Furthermore, even if a Jew is spiritually complete in his fulfillment of Torah mitzvahs, even at the highest level, this doesn't prevent him from being crushed, as the Rebbe will soon explain. So even if you think you're perfect, you still should be crushed. You still should feel the pain of galus, that what we are in, the pain of exile. So the Rebbe says, when a Jew thinks about the fact that your nation is entirely tzaddikim, okay, you got to think, right?
Willing to think like this.
Every Jew is a tzaddik. It's a pasuk. V'amech kulam tzaddikim. Every Jew is a tzaddik. Yeah, every Jew is a tzaddik. You don't have to think that way. The pasuk tells you that way. V'amech kulam tzaddikim. The question is, if he's a tzaddik, how is he doing bad? You see, the two ways to look at the question. You can look at the question, if he's bad, how is he a tzaddik? Or you can look at the question, is he a tzaddik, how is he doing bad? And that has to be the question. You're a tzaddik, how are you doing bad? Not you're bad, how are you a tzaddik? It's the same question, but it's coming from a different angle.
Perfect.
Right? Every Jew is the growth of my planting. Right? Every Jew is the planting of God, and God, the work of my hand, which Hashem will take pride. Every Jew. And thinks about the infinite greatness of Hashem, who created a Jew with the potential to express his infinite greatness in the world, so he can truly take pride in him, right? God has the trust of every Jew. God feels that every Jew has the ultimate potential, as the Rambam says. Every Jew can be Moshe Rabbeinu. Every Jew. Right? And when Yeshua comes to Moshe Rabbeinu and says, oh, these Jews are like acting like you, he says, let every Jew be Moshe Rabbeinu. He has no gaiva that, oh, somebody else can be Moshe Rabbeinu. Let every Jew be Moshe Rabbeinu. Why not? We're all righteous people. If you have a gaiva, you say, wait a second, no, I don't, I'm Moshe Rabbeinu. You're not Moshe Rabbeinu. Right? But if you have no gaiva, if you have no ego, we're all Moshe Rabbeinu. Why not? What's this? Right? There's no jealousy that somebody else is me or even greater than me. I have no problem with that. I'm not the only person in the world. Right? So if everybody right? This will cause even the most lofty and complete Jew to cry bitterly. So that's why Moshe Rabbeinu doesn't cry for his own pain. He cries for everybody's pain. Because he wants everybody to be righteous. That should be the crying. The crying should not be, oh, you're wicked. The crying should be, why can't everybody be righteous? Why are people not righteous? Why are people that have potential to be righteous are not righteous? The Rabbi would cry when he talked about it. He says, why is the Eibush not letting people be righteous? He's giving them too much tzaddis. Why is God giving them so much problems that they cannot be righteous? They want to be righteous. They could be righteous.
It's God's fault, Hashem's fault.
Yeah, he's in Galus. He's keeping the Jews in Galus. He's keeping us in Galus. If the Eibush would take us out of Galus, he would make everybody be righteous. He would eradicate evil and everybody be righteous. Right? He made a gullus, so there's ignorance and there's apathy, there's other issues going on in the world that's keeping people unrighteous.
That's the test.
It's easy for you to give somebody else a test. Maybe that person cannot handle the test. That's being non-judgmental on other people. Maybe that person cannot handle the test. Maybe he's not capable of handling the test. So you have to have rachmanis, right? You have to have mercy. This will cause even the most lofty, complete Jew to cry bitterly when he realizes that his own limited achievements are still not expressing the infinite greatness of Hashem. Because why? Because we're in Galus. If he would actually achieve this level, anyone who sees him would clearly recognize that he is the growth of my planting, the work of my hand. And since all people are not recognizing this quality in him, a Jew realizes that he's not reached a level and will be brought to tears regardless of his own spiritual perfection. Because we are in Galus. The Rabbi explains the seriousness of not living up to one's own potential by comparing it to the less serious transgression against a king. If someone who motions with his hand to someone else in front of a king, in halacha, if somebody motions with his hand, that's what he says in the Shema. In the Shema, you're not motioning your hand. Or Shmoneh Esrei. Somebody walks in, you can't go like this to him, right? You can't wave to him. You can't make a gesture. Why? Because you're standing in front of the Eibishter. Can you imagine you're standing in front of a king and you wave to somebody else? In the halacha, if you do that in front of a king, you're chayiv bisa. You're going to be put to death, chas v'shalom. Why? Because it's made of a malchus. You're disgracing the king. So because you deserve to death, God forbid, because you recognize the presence of someone other than the king. How is it possible to recognize a presence of somebody else in front of the melech? When you're in front of the melech, he's the entity. Everybody else is nothing. The second somebody else comes to something in front of a melech, you have diminished the greatness of the melech.
You end up with your head on the pipe.
You have to realize that when it comes to a melech shemachal akveda ein kveda machal. That's the problem with a melech. A melech cannot be meichel of that even. Al pi halacha, in Jewish law, a melech cannot forgive that. That means that the bezdin would put the person to death anyway. If the melech says, "Okay, it's all right, don't worry."
Everybody going to do it.
Look, the melech cannot be meichel akveda. A father can be meichel on his kavod. A melech cannot be machal al kveda. A melech cannot forgive his honor. Because the melech is the am. It's not the honor of the melech. It's the honor of the am. It's the honor of the nation. If you because melech, the concept of melech is the heart of the entire nation. It's the concept of melech in Torah. So in essence, the melech represents the nation. If you diminish the melech, you're diminishing the nation. And that's why a person, God forbid, you're insulting the melech. That's what the Nansana Mishnah. The Mishnah says, if you're learning Torah, and you pass by, you see how beautiful this tree is.
Right. You're a high.
You're chayiv b'nafshei. Right? Learn Torah.
Right.
How can it be in the presence of Torah? How is it possible? In the presence of the melech, the tree is recognized. In the presence of the melech. You're sitting and learning Torah. The Chochmah Shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Can you imagine that suddenly the tree caught your eye in the middle of learning Torah? How's that possible? Something's wrong. Chayim and Afsha means somebody's going to kill you, God forbid. The Chayim and Afsha means that something's wrong. There's something wrong in your nefesh. Something's wrong that you can be distracted in the aspect of learning Torah. How is it possible to be distracted when you're learning Torah?
I heard a story about Reb Moshe and when he was in Russia, they made him stand straight like this, and then when he came here, he always davened Shemon Esrei like
straight
this, because he says, if I had to do this in front of the Goyim, then how could I not do it in front of Hashem?
All right, very good, very good. So how's it possible? So that's why the king deserves that, because you recognize the presence of somebody else. Surely someone whose service is less than perfect. It's it in the fact that Hashem gave him the ability to grow, the grow of my planting, the work of my hands, which Hashem takes pride, is committing a grave transgression against the king. So he's not doing an Avedis, but he doesn't realize his greatness. He's not living up to his potential. My friends, we're all not living up to our potential. So it's not the problem of somebody else. It's my own problem. If I was 100% perfect, I would affect the whole world. I would change the whole world. Why am I not doing it? Because I'm not so perfect myself. The Rebbe once said, before he got a stroke, God forbid, he said a very sharp expression on himself. He said, I wanted to accomplish A. He said this in public. Right. I wanted to accomplish A, but I didn't accomplish. Everything was lahev lodik. Everything that I did was nothing.
It was a famous thing.
Yeah. So everything, right? So the Rebbe felt that he didn't accomplish what he wanted to accomplish.
The Rebbe?
Rebbe said that, right? He didn't accomplish. Right? Okay, so that's
maybe not in his own lifetime. But
no, so in his own lifetime. He said, my lifetime. I wanted to accomplish I didn't accomplish it. So everything I've done was vanity, because I didn't accomplish it. So if the Rebbe can say that about himself,
But you have to accomplish it in your own lifetime. But if you accomplish it after your lifetime, it's still your.
they want to accomplish. Tzaddikim want to accomplish it in their lifetime. Moshe Rabbeinu wanted to accomplish it in his lifetime. Moshe Rabbeinu also said the same thing. Moshe Rabbeinu said, Moshe Rabbeinu prayed to bring the Yidden exile. He felt that was the ultimate accomplishment. If he didn't accomplish it, he's missing something. There's something lacking in his avodah. And I'm just giving you an analogy. If Moshe Rabbeinu could say that on himself, the Rebbe could say that. Allah's come us. We can surely say that, right? Because we're not. We have a potential. The Eibusha gave us a potential to be unbelievable, and we're doing great. Baruch Hashem, we're doing great, but we can do unbelievable. We can be much greater, and that's sad. For some reason, we're not being greater.
Didn't the Rebbe say, and now it's up to you, it's up to us?
Yes, that's even sadder. If the Rebbe left it to us, forget it. We're in trouble. So you know what I mean? We're in trouble because us is a problem. We have a Yetzer Hara. So even if we're doing everything right, but we're not living up to our potential. Even the right that we're doing is not totally right. The right that we're doing is not totally as pure as can be. So that's a sad situation. Because again, we're holding ourselves back from being better. Right? We think we're perfect. Some people think that that's the way it is. That's the way we are. Everything is perfect. I'm perfect. They're perfect the way I am.
That's the worst thing to think.
And in Torah you say, no, either you're going up or you're going down. So Mailim B'Kodesh. Am I Mailim B'Kodesh? Am I going higher in spirituality on a constant basis? I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not doing any Veatahs, God forbid. I'm not doing any sins. But am I Mailim B'Kodesh? I'm going higher and higher in spirituality on a constant basis? No. I'm not. And that's sad. That should be a crushing situation. That should be a sad situation to me.
It's like the bicycle. If you don't,
yeah,
you fall.
I need to keep on going in Yiddishkeit. I need to I need to keep on growing in Yiddishkeit. I cannot, has nothing to do with anybody else. So therefore, I'm taka tzaddik. You're not going to catch. I'm not doing an avera. I'm doing everything right, but I can go higher. I can be holier. And that I'm not a holier is sad. It's not up to anybody else. It's up to me. And that's a crushing. And why? Because I'm in Gullus. Because even though how good I am, I'm still in Gullus. I'm still in exile. I'm still too busy. I'm still stuck in my own my own character that is keeping my own ego, that is keeping me from being better in all aspects. So how does this feeling of being broken and crushed lead to the revelation of the source of life, the essence of godliness? When a Jew thinks deeply about his own spiritual descent and cries bitterly about his situation, this will bring him to tshuva and return his soul to Lakim who gave it to him. So therefore, Siddur says, the way a person does that, if he thinks about his neshama, the thing is, we're not thinking about our neshama. We're not thinking about our soul. We don't realize the true potential of our neshama, our nefesh elokis. We don't realize the true potential of our nefesh elokis. We think that since we have done unbelievable begashmias, physically we have changed. We have done tshuva. Let's say we have become better in Yiddishkeit. We're perfect. That's what the neshama wants. The UGA, the UGA, there's also a video, came to the Rebbe, United Jewish Appeal, a group of them came, a lady, the president was a lady, says to the Rebbe, lately we have given $500,000 to Lubavitch. This was like unbelievable. We gave $500,000 to Lubavitch Institute. So the Rebbe smiles and says, you think I'm going to happy with $500,000? You think that makes me satisfied? I have bigger expectations. $500,000. What do you expect me? I should give you a plaque?
Yay.
$500,000 going to make me happy?
If she said 5
The Rebbe says with a spouse, they took it with a $500,000. So you think your neshama is happy? So you give that, you're a great guy, you've got it back. You think that's what your neshama, your neshama is finished. He says, okay, let's go to sleep. Okay, you're a great guy. You're unbelievable. Your neshama says, my friend, we just started. We just started. It's funny, because you're from Boston, so there's a video of, I don't know who in Boston takes him by the Rebbe, and the Rebbe tells me, he says he's gonna help us build a Chabad house. The Rebbe says, very good, very happy. He comes next time and he says, okay, he hands the key to the Rebbe and says, I think you should build another Chabad house. So he comes back, I don't know, a couple of months later, he says, okay, here's the second Chabad house. The Rebbe says, I think you should build a third Chabad house. I don't think he came back again.
There's another thing, Maaseh Shahaya, the UJA, for a Pesach campaign said that everybody should set an extra place symbolically for a Russian Yid who couldn't come out. They went to the Rebbe, and the Rebbe said, Manish, go out and find a Russian Yid. Don't set an empty place. In other words, bring him into your house.
So that was the Rebbe wanted that a person should do more. It shouldn't be just, I've done, I'm complete. Your neshama says, I want much more. Right? Mitzvah geredes mitzvah. The mitzvah wants another mitzvah. Because that's the aspect of a soul. It wants another mitzvah. It works the way in Gashmi. So if you taste a good piece of food, you want another piece of food. You're not going to be satisfied with that piece. Oh, it was good. I want another piece. I'm going to order the whole thing, right? That's when they give you a taster. They give you a taster, and now you say, okay, let's take the whole plate, right? Your neshama, the same thing. Spiritual, the same thing. You gave a taste. You gave a taste to the neshama. Your neshama says, wow, gewaldig. Let's have the whole plate. No. We don't want to serve you the whole plate. What do you mean? I want the whole plate. I want the whole thing. You gave me a little taste. Shkoyach, thank you. I never tasted it in the last 10 and 20 years. No, where's the rest? What's going on? Where's the rest? And that's a sad thing for the neshama. So now you're not serving the neshama the whole plate because you decided that's all you're going to do is the little taste. For the neshama, that's a crushing situation. He sees the plate, he sees what again, and you're not giving it to him. You know what kind of sad thing that is? And we should feel sadness for the neshama that we're not giving him the whole plate. Because we decided we cannot handle more than this little taster. We can't spiritually handle more than this. We might get obese. We might get we might become too religious. We might become too holy. Right? We're afraid of getting fat in spirituality. Too much cholesterol in holiness. Right? So we're not going to eat the whole plate, even though it's good. So it's sad. It's a very sad situation. Additionally, through the self-sacrifice, he can return the soul. So when we have self-sacrifice, we say, you know what? You're right. It's not me yet. You're right, but I'm going to break myself because my neshama wants it. So why wouldn't I give my neshama what it wants? So that brings the neshama a much higher level. And that's Mesiras Nefesh that we should have for our neshama. So the editors noted, the Alter Rebbe explained that the soul undergoes 4 levels of concealment in order to enable it to be clothed. Imagine the neshama goes from level and level and level so that it would be able to come into a body. The neshama goes level and level. It goes right. There's 5 levels of the neshama. We're not talking chidush shebenefesh, the oneness of the soul. The neshama goes to the chaya. It comes into nefesh, ruach. Neshama, it goes from level to level to level. To be able to come into this body, each concealment increases the soul's feeling that it's an independent creation by descending into bittul. It's bittul to godliness. When a Jew reaches the ultimate level of bittul, it returns his soul. Right? So the neshama came down, it was mevatah, so say it nullified itself to come into this body. Now when the Jew is supposed to go the other way, he's supposed to become batel. The Jew becomes batel, nullifies itself, he brings the neshama back to its source. So the neshama came down, ascended, descended. The neshama descended so that we should be able to ascend it. We should be able to bring it back to its source. It was nullified itself to come down into me. Now I need to nullify myself so I can bring it back to its source, to its beginning. And the truth is, that's the way we give back on neshama. We say Moida Ani Lefanecha, and the neshama comes down every day into our body. The neshama descends every day. It didn't happen only once in our lifetime. It happens every day. The neshama comes back to our body. It has to mevatel itself. It has to nullify itself to come into this body. And now we hope that when we go to sleep at night, we elevated this neshama. Not that the neshama came down nullified and stayed nullified a whole day in the body. It was bottle when it came down, and it was bottle when it left. It was nothing when it came down, because it nullified itself, and it was nothing when it was left.
The Alter Rebbe says in Tanya that the light of the sun and the orb of the sun itself is not even called light because it's so completely mevatel to the.
So the source, the source from where it's taken refers to even a higher level that was beyond the level the soul was given the Gan Eden before it descended the world. The beauty of why would the neshama be mevatel itself? Why would the soul nullify itself? That's really the question of Chassidus. Why would the soul, general question, why would the soul nullify itself to come into a body? So says it, so I'm going to nullify myself to come into a body. Why would I do that? What's the kavanah? Why would the Eibishter? That would be God brings the neshama down to my body. Why would God nullify the soul? If the soul is going to come back to where it came from, why would God nullify this holy soul to come into a body to bring it back to its original source? So Chassidus says no, that the neshama was nullified. The Eibishter nullifies it, whatever. Brings it down to a body so that the neshama would go higher than where it came from. And that's what he just said, that the neshama would reach up to the Maamar. The neshama would not only reach up to the highest level of its existence, it would be able to reach up to its source, which is atzmus, the yichidas shebenefesh, the oneness of the soul. And that's why the neshama came down. So therefore, if you realize that, my neshama traveled from level to level to come down to this guf, so that, and it was a mevatel itself, and it was forced upon it, this bittul. This nullification was forced upon it. And it came down from level to level to be able to fit into this body. So that what? So that we would nullify this body. So that be able to reconnect the soul to its source, but not only to reconnect it to where it came from, but to even to bring it even to a higher place that it came from. And so that's arachmanis. So in essence, the Alter Rebbe says we have to have a mercy on our soul. We have to push it arachmanis on our soul. But to realize the great sacrifice the neshama did for us, to give us life and to give us existence, so that we should repay the neshama. It's our own neshama. We should repay our neshama to give it even a greater existence than it came down. And if we don't have rachmanis on our soul, then we cannot budge anywhere. So we need to have once in a while think about who are our neshama, what are the rachmanis on our soul. And I always say that, it says, even in the world, they ask the question, they ask people before they died, what was the one thing that they would want, they are lacking, that they felt they were lacking in life as they were in their deathbed? What is the one thing? And out of the one thing out of the many things that people say is that they weren't themselves. They didn't live life like they wanted to live it. They were always too busy. Whether it was for others, whether it was living through their work, or even through their family. They did not live life the way they wanted to live it. And that's the neshama. The neshama says, beautiful, you lived a great life, but you didn't live my life. And my life is a true life. And it's a chaval. So you didn't have mercy upon your own neshama. You didn't have mercy upon your soul. So the Rebbe ends it off. The Alter Rebbe says, an intent of the soul descent into the world in order to reach a higher level, which is the essence. This is why the pasuk says, crush for the source of light. Kosis lamor, when a Jew is crushed, despite the fact that he's the most comfortable physical situation, or an extremely high spiritual level, every Jew, doesn't make a difference. The Kosas Lamar is not, because we're talking about the soul, the Kosas Lamar is not only for the Jew that's a sinner, or the Kosas Lamar is for every single Jew. Even the Jew that feels that he's spiritually, everything's a machaya. I'm a good Jew. What do you want from my life? He still has to be crushed because he's not living, no Jew is living the potential of his neshama. No Jew is living the potential of his soul. He is able to reach even a higher level, which is, in a certain aspect, even higher than the level a Jew reached at the time of giving the Torah, and to connect to the essence of godliness, to Elikim, who has given every Jew can go higher and higher in a spiritual level, and therefore every Jew should feel a little bit the pain of Galus. Because as long as we are in Galus, there's every Jew that lives in this world is in this Galus. That means a lack of spirituality, and he should feel that lack of spirituality, and he should feel the disconnection of godliness in the world. Have a wonderful and beautiful